Hey, Seth here with OSF Welding and Fabrication. So in today's video, as you can see, I'm going to kind of cover air arc, and I'm just going to keep up with the video because I don't have any time to edit this kind of stuff. So right there, I'm using a 3/8 carbon rod. The air arc torch is an essential for anybody who is getting into welding or has been welding and just doesn't use it. What the air arc allows you to do is to cut, as I'm doing there, but also to gouge out welds. Now this is going to be a split screen view, and kind of so you can see the motion. You know, a lot of guys, when they get into air arc and they don't get the rod down and take nice swipes. But as you can see on the right hand side, it's a consistent flow, and that's what you're looking for. Now in some of this there is a stutter as I'm cutting down that line. This triaxle had been used to halt just all kinds of stuff over the years, so it had Portland buildup underneath the cracks, so it essentially was concrete. So there's spots where it was very thin and I had trouble maintaining the arc. But as you can see now, going back to the left here, what we did was I laid out the trusses. I could see the trusses from underneath. I transferred that to the inside belly. A lot of where the splits were right over top of the trusses. So I just went through the bed and laid those out. So now with this 3/8 rod, what I'm doing is I'm poking it down through the AR plate, and then I'm just taking swipes. But I can see with my hood down from the arc light where my line is. So essentially I'm cutting 3/8 of an inch off of that line and watching the wash walk back into my soapstone marks there. And again, as you can see, there's stutter spots. It wasn't because of the abilities there. Now, speaking of the abilities, air arc for guys who, any type of welding, a lot of times I'll air arc and run a lot of dual shield. I did a lot of that on the drag lines out in Wyoming. But air arc for guys who are pretty proficient or daily users of stick should be a pretty easy convergence, because you're having to move as that carbon burns down. So it's essentially like running a stick rod. And then for people who are unsure of how this works, essentially what happens is that carbon rod has got a lot of amperage to it. I was running on 300 here. I had the machine maxed out, which I know isn't good, but it was all it had to give me. And that carbon burns down and turns the steel to molten. Inside the clip here, where the rod's being held, is an air port. And so that air port introduces high pressure oxygen from a compressor and blows that molten out of the way. I hope some of this has been helpful for people. If you'd like to learn more about the air arc, come see us at OSF.